Well, hello, guys. We are here for Show and Sell, a fun live sale. I'm so glad you could join me, Patrick. This is really fun. I'm excited about it.
Excited to be here. Thanks so much for letting me be on your channel.
And I absolutely love that Patrick is wearing a hat. It looks so perfect.
Gonna be on Katie's channel. I gotta look as dapper as Katie. I gotta wear the hat. So
the hat matches.
No brooch though. I have no brooch to wear.
That's okay, Patrick. I think you're selling some brooches tonight, so that will be fun.
I do. And you've got your brooch on tonight. So you're covering both of us.
Now, in honor of Patrick, I have a trunk down elephant. So thumbs up for trunk down, folks. This guy is truly trunk down. And I'm so glad that I have him to wear tonight in honor of Patrick, my guest. Now, this is a live sale, so I think most of the people I see in the chat are not new to the live sale, so they should be pretty familiar with how things run. But this is going to be a first to claim sale, so everything is just first to claim. There's no offer ups or just in cases. We just say the number, and then you'll type that number in the chat. If you would like the item, the first person to type in that number that Nate sees, because Nate is going to be the one keeping track for both of us tonight, the fabulous Nate, then you will get that item. So you got to make it all the way to New Zealand. It does help to be in live chat, not top chat, so you're seeing all of the comments and you're refreshing often. That's really the best way to beat the lag, because the lag is tough, but if you refresh often, maybe even upping your speed, you can really stay ahead of the game and stay up to date with the feed. So that does help. And this is just going to be a lot of fun. Now, if you do win something tonight, it is helpful if you will email Patrick and myself. We are not in the same state. I'm shipping from Florida. Patrick is shipping from Illinois. So that does mean that we cannot combine shipping. So if you will email us individually with your information, that does help. Of course, if you're a regular customer, we probably do have your information, but it does help to have that. Again, doesn't hurt to send it over. So my email is down below. Patrick's is down below. You can see that highlighted under our little name bars here, and of course in the description box. And I'm sure Nate or Peterson will be putting that in throughout the evening. Occasionally, some of our moderators are really good at helping. So thank you guys so much for being here in the chat. If you are helping and moderating, and thank you to everyone that's coming in for the sale. I see that Peterson is joining us tonight, so I'm glad Peterson is here. Carrie is here from Austin, and I see a lot of people joke about stalking each other because we do see each other all day in the chats. And I see Helen Casey is joining us, which is wonderful. Calypso Cat is here. Thank you, Cat, for coming in. Nate is here. And yes, Nate's already on it with the email. Nate, thanks so much. He is our rock star. Nate is amazing. I really do appreciate that, Nate. You are fantastic. I see Anna tuning in, and lots of folks in the chat. Oh, the other Katie is here. I like that we have several Katies in the chat. That is wonderful. Amy Weaver came back. Amy was on my live earlier today. So Amy, I'm so glad you are coming back and joining. Thank you. And Sam is here. And Sam just did a really, really wonderful show. I keep wanting to say show and tell, but deep dive with Patrick on travel menus. So if you've not seen that, go watch that, because I learned so much about travel menus. So Patrick, that was a wonderful show that you had.
It was fun doing it with Sam. He shared so much great information, and literally right before the show started, I bought 2 more menus because I was totally jonesing to increase the quality of my collection based on some of the stuff that Sam shared. So I'll be sharing those once those come in.
Oh, that's amazing, Patrick. Yes, those die cut ones that he showed were just to die for. They really were. And I see Pamela Blanchard coming in. Welcome, Pam. Lori, Blue Flamingo Mercantile, fellow Floridian. And Sandy is here. And Delbert, he's probably going to keep us laughing throughout the evening in the chat. Black Dog Vintage and Antiques is joining us. Thank you guys for coming in. I don't want to take too much time saying hello, because I know that we have quite a few things to get through. Hi, Tiger. Welcome, welcome. And I see Jamie is here, and LJ and Debbie. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Kim Z, Jeannie, Chicago lady. The chat did jump just now, so if I missed you, I am so sorry. But hello and welcome, and thank you for tuning in. So, Patrick, I'm so glad you were here for a sale. Just give us a little bit of an update about what's coming up for you on your channel before we get started in the sale.
Sure. So what will be happening with tonight's sale is kind of a little pop-up that Katie was kind enough to invite me to participate with. But I will still have my standard live sale on Thursday nights on my channel, Trusty Huckster Mercantile, on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. So that will still happen tomorrow. So for anyone that does happen to purchase something tonight, if you also purchase something tomorrow, I would combine across the two sales to combine for shipping, save you a little bit of money on shipping. I dropped a video earlier with a haul video in it. I'll probably do a live video on Sunday. Haven't really figured out the topic yet, and I need to record another haul video. So I'm trying to get some more videos up and running, and trying to schedule a couple additional deep dives with maybe some changes coming up in September. But for now, the immediate thing is my own live sale tomorrow night.
That is wonderful, Patrick. And I'm looking forward to Patrick's sale. He always has a lot of fun things. And Patrick is just great. So this sale will be combined with Patrick's items. I'm not having another sale this week, so my items will go out hopefully on Saturday, so you guys can get some invoices then. So just stay tuned for that. But it won't be in the next couple of days. But don't think that I've forgotten about you, because I do have your stuff after the sale, and I will get to that soon. More people coming in the chat. I see Vinny here and Chad, Retro Days. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. And again, please give a big round of applause to Nate and Peterson. Nate is doing a great job putting all the information in the chat, and Peterson is our regular greeter. She's got all the fun emojis, and it's so wonderful to have great moderators in the chat. So, okay, are we ready to go? Let's see.
I'm ready.
All right, Patrick, I'm going to let you start off first.
All right. Well, in honor of being on Katie's channel, first I get to wear a Katie hat, and I'm going to be selling a brooch. So hashtag bring back the brooch. I will do my part. I don't come across them very often, and I'm definitely learning from the videos that Katie is sharing on her channel, talking a bit about the makers and the designs and some of the ages that are coming out. But this is the only brooch I will have this evening. It is a Sarah Coventry brooch, and it has the traditional safety clasp on the back. It's a nice sized one. There are no stones or anything on this one. The way this one is done, hopefully you can kind of see it there, is the beadwork. It's blackened underneath it. What is that called, Katie? Like niello work or something like that? So it's got the blackened.
That's it.
As the base, but none of those are stones. So that is all just metal, and you can see kind of an alternating finish to the petals of the flower with the little stem. And on the back on the stem is where it is marked with the copyright of Sarah Cov, C-O-V. And I learned what that meant by listening to Katie. So it's a good size brooch. I forgot to actually measure it, so I measure it really quick. It is a little over 2.5 inches across. So nice, good size. And it is available this evening for $10. $10 for the Sarah Coventry brooch by giving me number 89. $10.89 for the Coventry brooch.
That is a gorgeous piece, Patrick, and Sarah Coventry is definitely a name to look out for. Now, the first item I have up for you guys tonight is pretty exciting, because these are ones that we just don't find that often, the large size anyway. We find the small ones quite a bit, but I was really excited when I found this the other day. This is a large size Scotch tape tin. Let me measure this here for you, but yes, this is the 5-inch size. So this is a really, really nice size. These are fantastic for Christmas displays because they've got the red and the green and the plaid, and we all love our Scotch tape tins. You can also set it up like this and build sort of like a winter wonderland scene on it, do some assemblages. It's just great all year round in the display. Honestly, I have a whole collection of these in different sizes, and I stack them up on an old oil can, and they look great. This one, I believe, is from the 50s because it does not have the little marking on the side here. I think I was reading some of them that say, they say cellophane tape, And then there's ones that say like cellophane tape 3M. The 3M ones I think are a little bit newer. So this one's definitely got some age to it. It does have some wear on the side where someone has put some tape to it. I do find that a lot with these, that they just get kind of worn down over the years, but that adds to its charm because we all like our rusty, crusty goodness. So this Scotch tape tin, 5 inches wide, can be yours for only $15. $15 for the Scotch tape tin by giving me number one. Number one, $15 for the large Scotch tape tin.
All right, so my first item, the brooch, went to Claudia K. Vintage. So thanks so much, Claudia, for picking up that Sarah Coventry brooch. I was looking at the chat and I had a question checking to see if I was going to have a mystery box this evening. And the answer is yes. And do not attack Carrie, KCATX. It's not her fault. She's got fast internet. But I figured I'll go ahead and I'll throw the mystery box in right now. So for those of you who are not familiar with my channel, one of the things you will always get in a mystery box, at least for the time being, is a vintage maxi pad. And there is a story behind these. I won't bore you with it, but there is a nice little history. So you'll guarantee getting at least one item in the mystery box. The way I do the mystery boxes is a little bit different because they tend to be super popular. And since we're not doing offer ups, it's just first to claim. People feel that they don't have a fair shot if their internet's not fast. So instead of telling you the number, I make you guess. So what's going to happen this evening is I'm going to tell you the range of where this mystery box falls. And you can guess the number anywhere between that range. You can guess more than once. Just hit the number, hit enter, go ahead and type in another number, hit enter. Nate knows what the number is. So he is on the lookout for the number and find the first person that gives the number. It will be custom packaged based on where you're located, because the shipping, I try and keep the shipping around $9 to $10. So if I'm shipping from Chicago, if I have to go to the West Coast, it's a little bit pricier. So your box will still be valued. They will always have between $25 and $30 worth of stuff in it, but the farther it needs to go, the lighter weight it will be. So it'll still be worth 25 to 30 bucks. You'll just have a lighter weight material where local tends to get dishes because I can ship locally a lot more weight for the same price. So have to guess the number. There's only one mystery box this evening. So this is your one and only shot to get one of my mystery boxes. And you can get the mystery box by guessing the number between 90 and 100. Between 90 and 100 is my mystery box. So go ahead and start typing your entries. Nate is on the lookout for them, and we will see who is the first person that he sees with that number. I've already seen it. So now we just need to verify that Nate saw that person first, because they're all coming in at the same date.
They are, and I'm telling you guys are fast.
Yes, they instantaneously hit all at one time. So I know who I see, but we use it through StreamYard, and sometimes what StreamYard shows is a little bit different than what you'll see in YouTube. So we do base it on what Nate sees, and Nate is the final say. So we will hold out for a second to see who he sees.
And Nate is the one that has to make it all the way. You have to make it all the way to Nate in New Zealand. And I see Gina Marie, number 92. Yep.
And I had it. There we go. So Gina Marie, I was going to try and click on it, but I'm not in control.
I know.
So the number is 92. And the first one in the chat with 92 is Gina Marie. So thank you so much, Gina Marie, for picking up the mystery box. Congratulations.
Congrats, Gina. That is amazing. And thank you again, Nate, for all your help. Yes, Nate is the ringmaster here. Well, guys, I have a really beautiful piece for you. And this is in honor of Patrick. I know Patrick loves his porcelain, and this is a really, really beautiful covered vegetable bowl. This is Noritake, and it's just a really, really beautiful piece. I love the detail on this. Now, let me show you the lid. The lid is just incredible. There are no chips or cracks on this piece whatsoever. It has beautiful transferware design with the flowers and then the hand-painted gold on the lid. It's absolutely gorgeous. The lid has no chips or cracks or issues to it. It's a white inside, and then you have this beautiful cream color on the outside. Now, I did have a little help from Patrick. He was kind enough to help look up the mark on the bottom, and this mark dates this beginning in 1930. I don't know when they finished this mark, but this probably is from around the 30s. And it's an absolutely gorgeous piece. Now, I was doing some research on vegetable bowls because I was a little confused. I mean, that is small for a vegetable bowl, but I had found some articles saying that people then didn't have the serving sizes that we do now. So that probably makes sense for that size. I just think that this is really beautiful. The handles have sort of this deco shape with the gold to them. This would just be lovely in a vignette or a display. And since we're probably not using this for vegetables now, I mean, you could put anything you wanted inside of it, little soaps in a bathroom. It would be great if you wanted to store your rings or brooches or jewelry in there. The possibilities with this piece are really endless. So you can have this Noritake 1930s vegetable dish for only $18. $18 by giving me number 16. $18, number 16 for the gorgeous 1930s vegetable dish. And yes, Peterson, M&Ms would be wonderful in there.
And if you run out of space for those M&Ms, I brought my own Japanese porcelain. And so this falls into a slightly earlier era from what Katie's showing, because this is actually porcelain date stamped Nippon. So I was trying to look it up really quick because I forgot to do it earlier. And I want to say, maybe some people in the chat, was it like 1918, 1911? When was the date when you had to stop calling it Nippon and when they had to start calling it Japan? Do you remember, Katie?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. And there's always a debate when we do this in the chat because people have different dates.
Yeah, it's early 20th century. I know that.
Yeah, I do know that too.
You had to start doing it. I think it was in 1893. They had to market something, and they were marking it Nippon. And then they basically, American manufacturers said that wasn't fair, so they had to change it. So Nippon became marked as Japan. So these are earlier. So these, and you can also tell by the design, these are around the turn of the 20th century. So these are late 1890s, early 1900s. They have the Moriage decor design built into the ridge. So where all of the raised, the little dots of gold you can see in the design, that's all raised slipware that was then painted gold with the floral design in the background. I find these absolutely gorgeous. I actually have things like this in my personal collection with the gold, but not with this floral motif. So that's why I'm actually going ahead and selling these, recognizing that this is not as popular of a name. It's doesn't even have a brand on it. You can probably research that leaf design, but it's basically Nippon ware. It's not as collectible as the Noritake that Katie just showed. So this pair of M&M bowls, just for Michelle, she can put her marshmallows in here as well. The pair of Nippon bowls is only $10. So $10 for the pair of bowls, perfect condition, no chips, no cracks. $10 for the pair by giving me number 90. $10, number 90 for the pair of Nippon porcelain.
And I'm wanting to announce that LJ got that last item. Congratulations, LJ. Thank you so much for picking up that bowl. And I love the idea of eating oatmeal out of it. That's fun when you're actually using your vintage. Okay, so the next item I have, I was really excited to find this because this is a travel book and it's just got the coolest graphics on it. This is in really, really good shape for its age. Now, it is copyrighted 1946. It's got the fun old-fashioned car on it with the kind of cheaper by the dozen family. And it says to travel fun to entertain both children and adults. There's 35 games in here. And it says things to do for the family on trips by auto, plane, or train. Now, what's really cool is this is a spiral-bound book. The only issue with the spiral is that this piece here, I think, has broken off a bit. It's come separated, but it doesn't affect the use of the pages. The pages do turn really nicely. And in the book, you've just got some cool graphics. So this says name of cities, population of cities, counting telephone poles, naming railroads, I Spy alphabet. So here are some of the games with these really cool graphics. And then there are things that you can do inside. So here's more of the graphics. And then let me show you some of the physical games. Oh, and I want to mention, look at these cars on the bottom. How cool is that? That is just absolutely amazing in my opinion. Now, if you flip through the book, Someone did do one of the puzzles already, but this is scrambled automobiles. And so it's got the name of all the different automobiles on it, and then you can fill it in. So you've got like Chevrolet, DeSanto, Hudson, Ford, Dodge, Cadillac, Chrysler, Plymouth. And here in this page, I believe it was the first page, there was a kid that has really neat handwriting. Maybe it was a mom that was doing this, but this is all filled in. And then if you keep flipping through, there's the license plate game. Now, I remember playing the license plate game all the time growing up on trips, so that was fun. And someone has filled in some of the states, but those are the only 2 pages that I know of that are filled in. And then in the front, they talked about something for the adults. So they do have in the back, well, before you get to that, you'll see this page, which says, Our Country 'Tis of Thee. And it has all the states, and then it asks you to do the population and then the capital, nickname, and flower of the different states. And it's got all of them in here. And then for the adults, it has a little section of the book here that's your daily trip record. So you'd put your day, your starting time, your date, your finish, speedometer, breakfast, lunch, and special different comments and things with the really cool, like, I love the palm trees in the sun, very Florida. So that's what's in this book. And then on the back page, it's just got some cool graphics. And I think this would be a wonderful start of a collection, as all of these fun little other travel game books that you can buy from this company. A word to the host or hostess. And then it's got all the little books. So you really could start a collection. But if you're doing an ephemera bowl, this would be amazing in an ephemera bowl. It would be really, really cool just with your stuff. And if you've got a display, here's the copyright 1946. And then it's got some amazing things on the back. So this book is just awesome, and it would look great in a display, and it really needs to be loved and treasured again. So for this book from 1946, you can have it for only $8. $8 if you give me number 14. $8, number 14 for the Travel Fun book. And this is sort of an orange color. It is not a red color as it's showing up on screen.
I love that book. Katie had shared that as she was prepping for the sale, and that's a great price. And I think the idea of the ephemera bowl is still something that will always be attributed to Katie. And if you missed that, Katie and I she showed us how to do ephemera bowls. I was able to successfully make one, and it is now freaking massive. It takes up like my entire credenza, but hey, it's cool. So I've changed what I was going to show because Katie was showing her ephemera. I will show my ephemera. So one of the things that I have, this is the only multiple that I have this evening because I had the opportunity. This is for those who are not familiar with my channel, this is a side hustle for me. So I do have a regular job, and that involves selling to libraries. So I travel to different libraries, and I had the opportunity of picking up some classroom sets that they had in their friend's sale. They were in great condition that fell in the vintage category. And so I actually have a set of 3 books, and I have 3 sets. So they are identical. So the 3 books that you get in the set, they're all from the Super Score Storyteller collection. So this is The Adventures of Sinbad the Sailor. I want to say they were all dated. They're all copyrighted in the 70s. This one's 1975. You've got some fantastic colorful art right in the inside cover, and art going through the story itself. They're all in good condition, and so you can keep them as books. You know, if you want to have this as decor in a children's room, in your own personal library, if you're going to make your own ephemera bowl, or if you're doing a tiered tray, all the books that are included are all from the same series, and they're all in the great condition, and they have similar art. So this one I think is a little bit more colorful, and give a Cyclops, get a little bit more interesting. Sinbad is one of the books. Then you have the more popular or not known Gulliver's Travels. So again, it's from the Super Score Storyteller. This one was also 1975. Same idea. It's got all this art right in the inside cover, so you could even just display it open, and you'd have a really nice backdrop for another display. But artwork on almost all of the pages. Again, a really nice tight binding, a nice tight spine. And I will say, in all 3 cases of the sets, Aladdin seems to be the book that was probably read the most. because it has some of the most wear. You can see some little bit of banging up on the edges, but still not bad. And the binding is still in great condition. Nothing's falling out. There's no loose pages, no torn pages, but you still have that art on the inside cover and on the back cover, as well as the the back cover. Yeah, that is the back cover, as well as the art on the individual pages. So in a set, you get the Gulliver's Travels, the Aladdin, and the Sinbad, and there are 3 sets available. So it just happens I've got 3 sets of 3 books. So the first 3 people that give the number will actually be able to get a collection, get their set of books. So for all 3 books, they're very, very thin. For all 3 books, $6. So it's only $2 a book for this set of children's books. So $6 for the set of 3. And the first 3 people to give me number 91 will get their set. And I forgot to announce number 90, the pair of Nippon bowls had gone to Catherine Young. I apologize, I meant to announce that. So thank you, Catherine, for picking up the pair of Nippon bowls.
Those are a great price, Patrick, and what a fun little set from your childhood and fun things to put in the nursery. My last item, the travel book, had a great home with Jamie at Mid-Century Wasted, so thank you so much, Jamie, for picking that up. Now, my next item is just darling, and I've shown this to several people, and they just thought she was so cute, so I went ahead and picked her up. Now, she is a little violin girl. Well, I think she's playing a violin. Now, some people had said she was playing a guitar. I did an Instagram poll, and people were voting, and she doesn't have the violin, I don't know what that's called, the bow, but there's no place for it. You can tell where she's made here that there's really not a slot for that to go. So I don't think it's missing or that she ever had one. So you can decide whether you want this to be a violin or a guitar. I do think by the shape of this, it's probably more of a violin, but she is really cute. She's got all of her spaghetti down at the bottom in gold. She's got adorable little pink dress with the polka dots and kind of a blue sweater and her little head handkerchief thing going on. Now, the only thing that I find odd about her is that she does have a little loop here. And I think at one point she might have had some chained dog animals with her. Now, I can't be certain of that, but I couldn't find one like it online. Now, there's lots of them with the chained animals, but none with the girl playing the violin or the guitar. So you guys can add something fun to this loop. I really think if you wanted to get some ribbon, some old ribbon, and tie it around, you can make a little bow around her. She's just darling, and she needs to go in someone's display because she's so cute. She does have a little bit of crazing on her base here, but she's in perfect condition. This is undoubtedly a Japan piece. You can just tell by the weight and quality of her. The detail of her face is really, really well done. There's no chips or cracks on her anywhere that I can find. I just think she is a lovely piece. She does measure to be exactly 5 inches tall. So she's a nice size. She'll add some great height to a display or to a vignette. And she's just so sweet. This would even make a really lovely gift for someone that loves little figurines. So the Violin Girl is only $12. You can have her for only $12 by giving me number 7. $12, number 7 for the 5-inch tall Violin Girl.
All right, so I had no takers on the children's books, so they are still available. If somebody comes in late, they can pick up that set of books. All right, the next item is another lot of items that I picked up. And I went through, I picked up a large collection of these, and I will be selling them in a variation of Trusty's Bargain Bin, probably starting tomorrow night. So I will do this later. But at this point, they're going to be a slightly better price tonight because what I went through is I found the ones that were related and I'm offering them here. What I have is this little collection of stick pins. So I said, technically, I only had the one brooch. I don't know if these fall as, would you count as these as brooches, Katie? They're like the little stick lapel pins.
I would consider them more lapel or hat pins, to be quite honest.
I think that would be cool on a hat. I should probably start putting them in my hat.
Yeah, it would be great on the band of a hat.
So they're very, very small. Let me see. Different sizes. The entire length, they're all going to be about the same length. The length of the pin itself is in just under 1.5 inches, like a little, maybe 1 3/8 long. And then there is a piece attached to it. Now, most of these are from another country, so some of them are in different languages, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to read all of them on here. I should have written them down. But what I combined were all of the beverages. So we've got this little yellow bottle with the writing on it. We've got these little coffee cups with the letters M. I actually never figured out what most of these. I don't recognize the companies because, again, a lot of these are coming from Europe. But those were little coffee cups. You've got a Limonade, Bravo Limonade pin. You've got the Drink Wilson Tonic. So this is more of a plastic one as opposed to the metal. So this is dimensional with the names molded into that. You've got Drink Exta, I think is what that says. Exita.
Exits, I think, or experts.
Guess it's exits. Citroen lemonade, and then a Royal bottle. No, Rydell bottle, the red, and then this little silver one. I think it said cafe on it. And then another, this one's different shape that the bottle printed on it. And then this one, I'm not 100% sure if it's a beverage, but she's saying, and then okay, us. So I don't know what that one is. And then I wanted to have 10 in the set. So I found the 10th one is everyone's favorite, Pippa the Clown. So you get a little clown to go along with the beverages. So it's a set of 10 of these vintage metal and or plastic lapel pins, hat pins, whatever you want. Would look great in a little junk jar. Some of the graphics on these, really reflective, some cool images, the ones that are, cut to be in the shape. Just a lot of fun. And I picked them up inexpensively. So what I'm selling is the set of 10. I'm selling for $10. So $1 a pin. So $10 for the 10 beverage-themed lapel pins, $10 by giving me number 63. 63, $10 for the 10 pins.
That is a great set, Patrick. I think that would be so fun, and a hat. Very unique, as people are pointing out in the chat. Now, my next item is in honor of Patrick. And I know that Patrick works with libraries, so I found this amazing book, and I wanted to share it in the live sale. This is from 1942, and this is a really cool book. And what this is if you open it up, it's the short stories of Saki, and it has some amazing graphics. Now, Saki is the nickname for Hector Hugh Morano. He lived from 1870 to 1916. And he was a British writer who wrote a lot of witty and mischievous and macabre satire stories about the Edwardian society. And this is just such a cool book, whether you want to actually read it or use it in a display. But I think that this would be something fun to read on YouTube or do something unique with. The color is really nice. I mean, this is a blue color, so you could do this for 4th of July. You could put it in a winter wonderland display with sort of that kind of icy blue. It just has a lot of opportunities to it. Now, there's a little bit of wear and fading on the cover, as you can see, but the spine is in really good shape for the most part. Just a little bit of tearing here. And then when you open the book, there's a really, really special writing on the inside. Now, I was trying to figure out what this is, so you guys can help me. But it says, good for something jitters. Now, this word, I can't figure out what it says is good for blank jitters. Darling, you have to love them, Pauline. Now, I don't know what this word is. I can read the rest of it, but this word has me stumped. So I don't know what that is, but it's a really unique, fun inscription in the inside. This has some cool graphics in it. I would hate to see something like this taken apart for junk journaling, but you could. It's got the ship on the inside, and then there's some other graphics in the back, and it does have a book tab, so you can mark your pages. Of course, there's some wear on that, like there usually is, but there's some fun graphics towards the end of the book. And this book is a compilation of all kinds of short stories, and this one's the storyteller. So the first little part of this says, it was a hot afternoon and the railway carriage was correspondingly sultry. And the next stop was Temple Combe, nearly an hour ahead. The occupants of the carriage were a small girl, a smaller girl, and a very small boy. And an aunt belonging to the children occupied one corner seat, and the further corner seat on the opposite side was occupied by a bachelor who was a stranger to their party. So if you want to find out more about the bachelor and the stranger to the party, then you got to get this book and you got to read it and let us know what you all think. So this
Peterson is suggesting Parkinsonian.
Parkinsonian. That could very well be.
Jitters.
Yeah, I think that's probably it, Peterson. That makes a lot of sense. So this book is an amazing piece from 1942. It's the short stories of Saki, and I did find out that this is the 10th pressing of this book, the 10th edition. It does say in the bottom here the different printings. In 1942 was the 10th printing in September, and the cover does have like a little owl on it engraved in the book. So this is just a really cool book. And for only $12, it can be yours from 1942 by giving me number 8. $12, number 8 for the short stories book.
All right, my last, the set of the 10 vintage pins. Lot 63 went to Claudia K. Vintage. So congratulations, Claudia. And if you saw in the chat, Melody is trying to buy pieces of that off of you. So you might be able to make some money off of this. Who knows? I will say that I do have additional pins. Some of them are duplicates of what I sold tonight. Unfortunately, Melody, I do not have a duplicate of that 3M cup pin. So I do apologize, but I will be doing them as random Trusty Huckster kind of a grab bag thing, probably starting in my sale tomorrow night. So you do have an opportunity to pick up others going forward. So thank you, Claudia, for picking that up. My next item, I try to do a little bit of research on these, and because when I bought them, we're jumping into some Christmas in August. They are Santa tumblers or low balls, whiskey glasses. When I saw this and I saw these trees, I thought these had that Weitersbach. Is that the German manufacturer, like something like Weitersbach? But I don't think I ever knew how to pronounce it. It had a kind of that look. But when I specifically looked for that company, which took me forever because I didn't know how to spell it, I never found this look. So unfortunately, I don't know if these are truly vintage or if these are maybe newer to look like vintage. So I need to be aware of that because I don't want to sell something for what it's not. So at this point, I picked these up at a good price. I can do that, Claudia. I picked these up at a good price. So I'm passing them off as a good price as vintage, either actual vintage or vintage inspired Santa glasses, because I think these are awesome. And they're decorated on all sides with those Weitersbach style trees, the snowflakes, and then kind of the stylized Santa on skates to go with it. So you get the pair of them, and you get them for only $8. So $8 for the pair of lowball or whiskey glasses with the Santas on them. $8 by giving me number 96. $8 for the pair of Santa glasses, number 96.
Those are just adorable, Patrick. I love the little jolly Santas. And my last item went to Sandy for Sandy's Lilacs. So congratulations and thanks for picking up the book. Now, the next item I have for you is just cute. And I don't have any other word for him, but he is just darling. He is a little Japan planter. He would look great, of course, with our beloved air plants or cheese. He is marked Japan. And I think he's probably from the 50s. He's got some really fun detail on him. He's a little donkey pulling a cart. I just love the glazes on him. So he is a pottery piece. He's got some blue and pink and this kind of a beautiful, it's celadon, but it's a green color. I don't know what color you would call that because it's not reading very well on camera, but it's just beautiful. It's a stunning green color, and I just think that he is so cute, and he would be great in a little display. He is in absolutely perfect condition. He does have a little bit of crazing on him, but of course that's normal. His ears are in good shape. There are no chips or cracks that I can see on him. I love the little wheels of the cart are these pink flowers, and then you've got like this brown glaze. It is a shiny glaze, so it's very smooth. It's not bisque, and it's just a really beautiful piece. You could do a lot with this too, as far as putting things in the back, not just air plants, but I mean, the possibilities with sticking something in here are really endless. He could be pulling anything that you want.
Sugar packets.
Yeah, sugar packets would be great. I love that idea.
Somebody's asking, is it a sage green?
Yeah, it's kind of like a sage. Exactly. That's the best way I can describe that color. So anyway, he is just gorgeous. He's a lot of fun. He's so cute. And you can have him for only $10. $10 for the Japan Donkey Planter by giving me number 12. $10, number 12 for the Japan Donkey Planter.
All right, my last item, the pair of Santa glasses, lot 96, went to Claudia K. Vintage. So she wins the Fast Internet Award tonight. So thank you, Claudia, for picking that up. And thank you for your kindness in offering the pin to Melody and to Halem. I know that they will enjoy that. The next item is another homage to Katie, because as her brooch shows, we are on a crusade to give love and attention to the trunk down elephants. Everyone loves their Viagra brethren, and so not everyone is excited to be around. So you need to give love to the trunk down elephants. And this one is a cutie. So this is, I picked this up in a antique store actually. And at the time I didn't think he was as old as he ended up being because, you know, it looks like terracotta. So I was thinking maybe 70s at the oldest, maybe even getting into the 80s, depending on how he was made. And it is a tea light holder. And the first clue that's a little bit older is you can see the tea light's never been burned. It still has the gold cord on the wick, which that they don't do that anymore. And the other aid, what actually helps you actually date it more specifically and make it much older than I thought it was, is this foil sticker on the bottom. If you look at the very last line, it shows that it came from Karen Carson Creations in Dayton 140. So it came from Dayton, Ohio, but with a 2-digit zip code. And I feel like a broken record talking about zip codes all the time, but I'm sorry. It's like the best way I know how to date anything is if you see a 1 or 2-digit zip code, it fell between 1948 and 1963. So this is probably late 50s, maybe early 60s. They loved their trunk down elephants, and so they gave this one a home, and it is just an adorable little tea light holder. The tea light is loose in this, so it's not melted into position, but it does still have, luckily, the original label on there to show it is older than you might think, but he's not cuter because he couldn't be any cuter. He's too awesome. I absolutely love him. Considered keeping him in my personal collection, but I certainly do not need a tea light holder. So hopefully you do, and you can give the trunk down elephant a home, and you can do so for $10. $10. 48, actually 63. Michelle, 2 zip codes went into 63 as when they first started converting over. So anyway, $10 for the elephant by giving me number 85. 85, $10 for trunk down. Thumbs up for trunk down.
Absolutely, Patrick. And that elephant is just darling. I love that little guy. So yes, thumbs up for trunk down elephants. He's just too cute. And I have to say that zip code method really works like a charm because that is really a great way to date things. My last item, that Japan Donkey Planter, went to Calypso Cat. So congratulations, Cat, for picking that up. And again, a big thank you to Nate, who's helping us out in the chat, and Peterson as well. Now, the next item I have is this amazing graphic can. I just love this. This is Electro Silicon polishing powder, and it cleans silver better. So this is in honor of our Nate in the chat. He loves his polished silver, and this just has the coolest graphics. Now, this is a cardboard 10, and then it's got the metal and the metal top and bottom, but it's cardboard all the way around. It does have a little bit of wrinkling due to age. This piece is from the 1940s. There is no zip code on the bottom, and that's when this company was around making this particular product. And there is a really cool graphic on the front. Look at that girl polishing the silver and cleaning the table. I mean, this is just so cool. It's kind of a yellow color, a light yellow with your navy blue and red, and I just think this is so cool. It's for brass, nickel, and copper, and it still has the polishing powder in it. However, I don't know that you could get it out. You can hear that it's not rattling around in there because it's kind of cemented itself to the bottom, but you're not really using this to polish anymore. I wouldn't. This is just something fun for a display, or if you collect old advertising or just love something with cool graphics. So this 1940s Electro Silicon polishing powder tin with the awesome graphics can be yours for only $12. $12 by giving me number 9. $12, number 9 for the silver 10.
And thumbs up for trunks down goes to the other Katie. So we're expanding the movement to the multiple Katies. So the other Katie, Berkeley girl, gets the
yay.
He gets the thumbs down or the trunks down candle tea light holder. So we had something in Katie has something in honor of Nate. I also have something in honor of Nate. It is, I do not come across nor do I pick up slag glass very often, but when I found this baby, I had to pick this one up because I'd never seen the form before, and the color I'd seen, somebody called it butterscotch. Katie, I think you're a little bit more knowledgeable on this than I am. This seemed a little darker than what I was familiar with butterscotch. Have you seen this variation?
I've not seen that particular variation, but I would consider that butterscotch in my opinion.
Okay, so it does go that dark. Okay, that's what I wasn't sure of.
And Nate faints.
And it's not even something he has to polish. So it is an absolutely beautiful piece. It is a covered pitcher. I don't think you would call it a ewer. I think it is technically it's a pitcher, maybe even a covered creamer. And it's some beautiful decoration and detail built into this. Just look at all of the beadwork done all the way around the leaves that are on both the front and the back. You've got the little chevrons going up the sides. Unfortunately, there is no stamp in the bottom, and I couldn't find this shape. I went onto WorthPoint, I went on eBay, I went onto Etsy, and I could not find anything that matched the shape. So I do apologize. I do not know the maker, and I do not know its age. But it is gorgeous. The lid also is very heavily detailed. That I thought should have been what would have helped me trace it down, but unfortunately I didn't. I couldn't find anything with that. I will say for condition, if you know me, I tend not to carry anything unless it's perfect condition, unless it's special. This one, it's in great condition, but you can see there's some flea bites, some chips just around the edge where the lid sits inside the cover. But if you look at it, because it sits down, you actually don't see any of those chips. They're all on the inside. So I let it pass and brought this into the live sale and making it available. So it's a beautiful piece. And I wish I knew more about it, but because I don't have the specifics and I don't have this keyword search, that's why it shows up in a live sale as opposed to Etsy or eBay, because you guys can see how gorgeous it is. And hopefully I'll pass it on at a good enough price that you guys will pick it up. So it is the slag glass in butterscotch covered pitcher, covered creamer for $25. $25 for the covered creamer by giving me number 94. $25, $94 for the slag glass.
That is gorgeous. And I'm sure Nate and lots of folks in the chat are swooning over that. I think it's beautiful. Catherine did want to know how tall it is. So if you get a chance to let us.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I just saw the comment come through.
It is 5 inches tall.
5 inches tall. That is a really nice size. And this next item that I have, oh, and let me announce, Katie, Berkeley girl, our other Katie, got the last item I had, the 1940s polishing can. So congratulations, Katie. That's a wonderful piece. Now, the next two items I have are a lot, and you're going to get both of these, and I just think that they are so cool. I love my glass, and I'm really fascinated by blowing glass. I know a lot of us have been watching the show Blown Away on Netflix, and we're all fascinated with how glass is made. So I picked up a pair of glass fruits. Now, this one is the pineapple. He is orange, and they really did a nice job on the texture and the design of this piece. You've really got that wonderful pineapple texture there. And then on the top, they've pulled all of these to make the very top of the pineapple. All of these are in perfect condition. There's no chips or cracks or anything that I could find. I will get this sticker off that's stuck on the bottom, but this is a beautiful piece. It's got a smooth ponto on the bottom, and I just think this is gorgeous. So you're going to get this fruit, the pear, and the pear measures about, let's see, I thought I had measured it in advance, 4 inches tall with the stems. And then you're also going to get the pineapple. I mean, you're also going to get a pear. So here's the pear. This is a same height. It is really beautiful. It's a yellow pear. It's got the ponto on the bottom. It's smooth. And then they've used a pull tool to make this top, and it's applied. So this is just a really gorgeous set. This is something I think would look beautiful in a bowl in your kitchen all year round, or just for summertime, or even if you love SpongeBob and you want to do something with like a little SpongeBob theme, you could do something with this. I just think they're gorgeous, and you're going to get the pair of them for only $12. $12 for the art glass pear and pineapple. And I wish I knew who made them, but I don't. They're just amazing by themselves. And this is going to be number 4. $12, number 4 for the art glass pear and pineapple.
So the slag glass pitcher did not sell. There is a suggestion from Vinny that it was Fenton. I just did a quick search for Fenton slag glass covered pitcher, covered creamer. I'm not finding that pattern. So I'm not saying you're wrong, Vinny, but unfortunately I'm not finding it in my search. So I will do a little bit more digging on that. And then if I can figure out, or if anyone can help me identify it, I can put it onto Etsy and be perfectly happy selling it there. So appreciate any help you have identifying the slag glass. But for now, it's going to be back here and available for people that join later. So the next item, for those of you who might be new to my channel and you just get used to the idea, I'm not going to have a live sale, even if I'm on somebody else's channel, without a coaster. So I'm selling coasters. So these are a design that I've never seen before. It's a stack of 6 coasters. They are all identical. They have it was sealed up when I bought it, and I was thinking, oh, maybe they're, Zodiac or something like that. No, they're all the same. They're just fish. And so they all have the exact same pattern on them. What is cool about the pattern is it's kind of like a vintage fidget spinner, because the fish actually can swim around the center, and they actually come out so you can wash and clean the coasters. They're from a company that, surprisingly enough, considering how many coasters I've sold, I'm not familiar with. It's the JM Coaster Corp. So the logo is molded right into the sides. See if I can get it to show there. Come on, light. There we go. So you got the JM Coaster Corp. Based on the material, I'm thinking these are probably 60s or 70s. Might be going later, but I want to say 70s, and that black and gold, I think, kind of backs that up. It is a set of 6. They are, I guess I should give you the size. They're about 3 1/4 inches across. So they're actually a little narrow for typical coasters. Coasters typically end up going 4 inches. So these are a little bit narrower, but they stack very nicely, so they don't take up much space. And it is a full set of 6. Yes, Peterson, thank you. So it is a full set of identical black and gold spinning fish in a set of 6 coasters, and you get the full set of 6 for $7. $7 for the fish coasters from the JM Coaster Corp. $7. That gives me number 76. $7.76 for the 6 coasters.
And I have to say, that is the most unique and unusual set of coasters I've ever seen. Those are just awesome. And I didn't have any takers on my art glass fruit, but I do have another great item for you. This piece is coming out of my own personal collection. And yes, folks, get ready to be shocked. I am selling some of my copper collection tonight. I need to downsize a little bit because I got a fun sign for that wall. So what you're going to get tonight is a really beautiful copper colander. And this one is a berry colander. So you put your berries in here and you can wash them. This is a fully functional piece. Of course, what I did with this is I had it hanging on the wall like this. It is tin lined, so I do believe that this is older than the typical ones that you see online. I could not actually find any of them that have these little feet like this. These kind of like almost reminiscent of ball and claw feet are something that just didn't seem to be showing up when I looked this up online. So I don't know who made it. There's no stamp to determine who produced this piece. I just think it's gorgeous. It has brass handles and they're riveted on, so they're very good quality. The feet are also all riveted on. There is a rolled edge, so this is not a edge that was, solidly cut. So water can get under here, but I do not see any rusting around the outside. There's a little bit of wear just due to age. I did polish this a tad bit, but I wanted to leave it up to the buyer because I know a lot of you guys, sorry Nate, love things that are kind of patinaed and aged as opposed to all shiny and polished. So you guys can do what you want with this. I did polish up the bottom a bit. There is a little bit of the copper coming through the tin lining there. Just a small little spot, but that really shouldn't affect its use as far as a berry colander because you're not cooking in it. And I just think this is beautiful. So let me measure it for you. It measures to be 7.5 inches across and 5 3/4 inches the other way around. And it sits up, let me measure that. It sits up about 3 inches tall. So this is something that I had, again, hanging like this by the little handle here, but you could actually use this, put this in a display, put something coming out of it. It's just a really, really wonderful piece from my own personal collection. So this copper berry colander is only $12. $12 by giving me number 5. $12, number 5 for the berry copper colander.
So my last item, the fish coasters, went to Nettie. So congratulations, Nettie, for picking up lot 76. You get the fish coasters. Through the chat, there was a reference that I believe it was either Peterson or Vinny mentioned also looking up the color caramel and for that slide glass, and that is where I found success. It is the cactus pattern, and it is Fenton. So congratulations, Vinny. You hit that on the nose. So it is a Fenton caramel slag glass. So not butterscotch, but caramel. I don't know if maybe did Fenton call theirs caramel instead of butterscotch? So it's, it sounds like it's the same color, but it is called the cactus pattern. So still no takers. If anyone wants it, it'll change. Great. Otherwise, that is going to go on to Etsy. And now I know what to call it. So the next item is I do the deep dives. Katie did her first deep dive. My first deep dive ever was with Katie. That was on typewriter tins. Sam just did with Dining at Sea. He just did the one on ocean liner cruise ship menus. I also did one with BMOS Mercantile on playing cards. And I was digging through some boxes, cleaning some things up, trying to get myself organized. And I actually came across this and remembered buying this specifically for that deep dive. And then I forgot about it. So I pulled it out. So this is a vintage set of Congress playing cards with the Cellutone finish. And they are a floral pattern. And what is unique about this is you've got the little box that slides out, with the sleeves of cards. Both decks of cards are still sealed, which is not common. So we've got both sets of Congress playing cards. Both are sealed with their original case. The case kind of has, you can kind of see it on the screen. Hopefully, it's like a velveteen, fabric-y finish on the edges, and then trimmed in gold with then the images of the cards of the floral images on the front. I have no idea what those flowers would be. I have no idea. They kind of look like poppies, but I don't know if poppies come in purple. So I don't know what those would be. Don't know if it really matters. It is just a vintage set of 2 decks of sealed Congress playing cards. Flocking. Thank you, Pam. $5 for the set of Congress playing cards. $5 by giving me number 82. $5.82 for the Congress playing cards.
Oh, that is wonderful, Patrick. I have a set of Congress playing cards with the Salutone finish, and they really are just of the highest quality. I do love myself a good game of cards. Now, my last item that I shared went to, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to pronounce your name, your YouTube name correctly, so I'm going to scroll back up. Sajero 2, I hope I'm saying that correctly, but congratulations. And thank you so much for picking up that berry bowl. And you are new to me, so please make sure to send your PayPal email, your regular mailing address with zip code to my email down below, and of course your YouTube name and your regular name. All right, so the next item I have I'm very excited about because this is the first piece of treasure craft I've ever found in the wild. And we all know about treasure craft through George, the antique nomad. And this is a wonderful piece of treasure craft I found while I was hunting with Alex, Chapter 2 Vintage Co. in Micanopy, Florida. So this is from our shopping trip there. And this is a really unique piece. Now, I did look this up online, and there aren't too many of these floating around. There's a lot of Ohios, but I couldn't find any Tennessees. This has a cardinal that's transferred in the middle, and then it's got the treasure craft design that we all know and love. It says Tennessee. Now, the ones that I was seeing online, I did notice that where this brown detailing goes around the word Tennessee or any of the other states, it always seems to be missing on this one side. So I don't know if that's something that happens consistently due to age, or if this is something that just was manufactured that way and it's some sort of manufacturer flaw. It really doesn't hurt the piece. I mean, there are no chips or cracks in this, but it is something that I did want to point out. This is in the shape of a horseshoe, so you can have your good luck piece. This is a little trinket dish. It's not an ashtray because there's no hole for a cigarette or cigar to go, but it is beautiful. It does say Treasure Craft on the back, made in USA. Now, I looked this up in George's book, The Antique Nomad. He's got a book on treasure craft. He's the one that wrote it. And I could not find this exact piece, but he did talk about this mark on the back. And this mark apparently was around from 1955 to 1990. However, this mark, particularly on the cookie jars, which he noted to be under the lid of most of the treasure craft cookie jars, made that a little older, but he didn't specify how old. So I'm not sure exactly the age, but it is vintage and it's very cool, reminiscent of George. And of course, if you love cardinals or treasure craft, this is just a fun piece that you can put in a plate stand for a little display. So this treasure craft piece can be yours for only $10, $10 for the treasure craft trinket dish by giving me number 2. $10, number 2 for the piece of treasure craft.
All right, my last item, lot number 82, the 2 decks of sealed Congress playing cards went to Belinda Carroll. So thank you so much, Belinda, for picking those up. Since I have Vinny in the chat, and thanking once again, Vinny, for helping me identify my piece of Fenton. This goes back, this is kind of a story that had a little bit of legs, and it's something that all of us relate to as resellers, is Avon does not always get a fair shake. There are some people that love it, a lot of people who do not care for it. As a reseller, it doesn't always have a lot of monetary value because people that like it tend to already have it. But they do some really nice pieces. And as people expand into new collections, expand into new areas of, decorating or doing their tiered trays, Avon can be an inexpensive way to build up certain collections. And so when I came across this, I'm doing them as a lot. I felt that they're attractive. They're very well done. If you didn't know they were Avon, you'd pay probably a lot more for them. But they are Avon. And so I'm just going to keep the price. I got them inexpensively, so I will sell them inexpensively. They are the miniature steins. And so I have a set of 3, and these are the transportation series. So we've got the automobiles, and these are in relief. So you can see they're kind of molded into the pottery. So they're, you can feel them raised up. There's the names and ages, 2000 or 1927 Bugatti, 1911 Ford Model T, and a 1910 Stanley Steamer. So you've got those. These are all very clearly marked that they are Avon, and these are coming from the 80s. So this is 1982 is the transportation automobiles. You've got, this was my favorite, the airplane or the air travel. So you've got the hot air balloon, which I think is fantastic. I don't know why they put it underneath the handle, but then you've got the different biplanes and seaplanes all the way around that. And also Avon, that one is also from the 80s. That's also 1982. And then the one that made me think of Sam, you got the sailing ships. So these are primarily sailboats as opposed to ocean liners. So I'm not sure if they would have had menus on these boats, Sam, but you've got the, looks like the names of the ships. So schooner, jib-headed ketch. Well, that just sounds like an insult. Barkentine, brigantine. Are those sails? I don't even know. The stay sail. That sounds like a sail. Also, this is also Avon, also 1982. So you've got the transportation series, the boats, the plane or the air travel with the planes and the hot air balloon, and the automobiles. The tallest one is the planes or the air travel, and it is 5 3/8. The automobile one is 5, and the ship one is about 4.5. So these are the mini steins. So they're going to be easy to ship, not very heavy, so not expensive to ship. And we've got kind of a brown, blue, and brown, but with a red trim. So those are the ones that I've got available. It is a set of all 3. You get as a lot, and you get all 3 for only $4 a piece. So it's $12. So $12 for the set of 3 of the mini Avon steins. $12, all 3. By giving me number 87. 87, $12 for the set of 3 transportation Avon steins.
The graphics on those, Patrick, are wonderful. And I was just talking about in my video today that we need to bring back the Avon brooches because they are really a great quality item. And I do think that we need to not discount Avon. Avon is wonderful. And yes, that is a steal of a deal, Vinny. I did see, I wanted to highlight this, that Sam was in the chat, and he says that the cardinal is the state of the bird of 7 states, but not Tennessee's, though. So it is interesting that they put that on my piece of treasure craft. And a big congratulations to Barbie at Punk Funk and Junk for getting that last item. That is going to you. Now we're moving from the 70s and we're going to something a little bit older. I actually have a lot of sheet music for you guys, and I just thought the graphics on these were phenomenal. These would be something that would look great in ephemeral. They would be wonderful framed. I mean, this makes really inexpensive, really cool conversational art in your home. The first piece that you're going to get in this lot is Sweet and Lovely, 2 Girls and a Sailor. Now, all of this sheet music is from the 1930s. I should have opened these in advance so that this sound doesn't bother you guys too much. But I've got all of this wonderful sheet music here. And this first piece has some really cool graphics. It is kind of a fuchsia pink. And it's Sweet and Lovely, 2 Girls and a Sailor. And it's Van Johnson, June Allison, Gloria DeHaven, Josie Ebony, Jimmy Durant, and Gracie Allen. Now, Gracie Allen is the only name I recognize out of that, but I did do some Googling, and they do come up, and of course you get all of their wonderful pictures. And then on the back, it's America's Favorite Songs. So there's a catalog of some other songs. This was made by the Leo Feist and Corporation with arrangements with Robbins Music Corp on the bottom. And when you open it up, the music is all here. Sweet and Lovely, and this one's copyrighted 1931. You'll see the copyright on the bottom. And then this just has some really nice music on the inside. So I would hate for you guys to junk journal with this, but if you wanted to, you could, because this music would just be amazing in something like that. But I think framed, this cover would be so cool. So it's a black and kind of fuchsia color. And then the next piece is this here. And this is just a really, really unique piece of sheet music, about 8:45. So, and you guys will get this all wrapped up with the little backer boards. This one, I believe, is from, yes, I wrote this down, 1935. And this is about 8:45. And it's just got some amazing graphics. I love the woman's top hat. It's got a pink color here with the white and then this orange color. And then you've got all of these people in top hats in the bottom. This is arranged by Archie Mayo, and it's Going to Your Dance with Al Jolson and Ruby Keller. I don't recognize those names, but they might mean something to you. But what's really cool about this piece, and kind of funny, is on the back, you get this, excerpts from the Gold Diggers of 1935. So, I mean, that is wild. I'm sure that's a show, but I've never seen anything like that on the back of a piece of sheet music. So this has sort of the wow factor. So you could display this way for a cool conversation, or this way with the amazing graphics. It does have this really cool Art Deco bottom here. It's made by the Whitmark and Sons Company. And they also made this on records and piano rolls, which I think is really cool, because if you open this up, there is just the coolest graphics. And this is probably something I'm nerding out over, because there's a little symbol on the inside that says getting your songs on the talking machine and player piano. So you could have this on a Victor record for your Victor RCA talking machine, which I just think is so cool. I almost kept this one, guys, but I'm giving it to you and putting it in the lot. And it's just got all of the music there. These are all in wonderful shape. There might be a little bit of wear, up at the top, but for the most part, this is just absolutely amazing. And then the last thing that you're going to get in the lot is just a really, really cool piece of music here that has some Art Deco graphics. This is from the 30s as well. And this is the last roundup. So you've got kind of a variety of different graphics to play with. What's cool about this is this one actually advertises the NRA, the National Rifle Association. And then you've got some cool graphics there with cowboys riding off into the distance. You can see they're kind of almost like sketched onto this piece. Then you've got the cowboy. And this is from the Ziegfeld Follies, which we all know and love. And then on the back, the graphics are just amazing. I would have trouble with this piece deciding which way I wanted to display it. There is some tears on this piece right up at the top, but overall, this is in really nice shape. And then you've got the sheet music on the inside and the copyright date. Now, what's cool about this one is it's got the 88 grand old songs on the bottom. So there's just a lot of awesome graphics on this piece. Now, these do measure 9 1/4 by 12 inches. So it's not a standard size frame, but if you go to Hobby Lobby, you can get connector frames, I think is what they're called, but they're basically frames that you can put together yourself, and Hobby Lobby will cut you a piece of glass. They're very inexpensive, and that would be a really wonderful way to frame these. I also think they make frames this size on Amazon, so you can look for that. So you're going to get all 3 pieces of sheet music. It's only $5 a piece of sheet music for only $15. So $15 for the amazing sheet music lot from the 30s. And the last piece I showed is from 1933. And you can have this by giving me number 6. $15, number 6, for the whole lot of amazing sheet music.
I was actually just going to throw a date for that last one, because just a clarification, the NRA logo in that application is the National Recovery Administration, which FDR initiated in 1933. So if you hadn't said the date on that one yet, so it can't be earlier than 33 because the NRA didn't exist at that point. But so you got some really nice early music there. So it's kind of cool to see, and good, and a great price.
That's amazing. Thank you, Patrick. That is some great information.
Love good Depression era stuff. I just love what they were able to put out during that time. Okay, my last item, the lot of the 3 Avon pieces, unfortunately did not sell. So no takers on that. That is still available and will be available for later. The next piece, as she was saying, that there's, as Katie mentioned, there's just different ways to decorate with art, decorate different pieces. What I have is probably not technically going to fall under the vintage category because it is photography, but it's photography of vintage scenes. And I have a set of 3 matted photographs, all signed by the photographer. Unfortunately, this is the one that has the most legible signature. I think it says Lamanti, Lamanti, or Lamardi. I was unable to find anything by this photographer. So at this point, these are just very well done images and then also packaged very nicely because there's a set of 3 of them. So this one, you've got Park Slope, what does it say? Park Slope, well, it's Park Slope Brooklyn, abbreviated, but it's Park Slope Brooklyn. You also have the West Village, so another doorway in the West Village. So you've got the door of Park Slope, the door and stairs of West Village, and the door, another one in West Village. So you've got this great triptych of vintage doorways. So the photographs may not be vintage, but they are vintage of a vintage item. And they are all matted with a black mat. They came in their little plastic sleeves. I forgot to take the measurement of them because I believe is a standard size. They are, yes, indeed, they're 8 by 10. So I am not including any frames because you can go to any dollar store or any Goodwill and find standard 8 by 10 frames very easily that you don't have to pay shipping on. So I'm just going to send you the actual art. And they're just very well done. Again, probably contemporary, but they took it to the next level where they did the matting for you and then gave it that next boost that even if the photographer isn't super well known, you can have effectively original art in your home showing vintage doorways. And I'm a huge historic architecture buff. I love stuff like that. When I do walking tours and things, I take pictures like this of my own and they never come out this nice. So again, we got 2 from the West Village and 1 from Park Slope, Brooklyn. And they are available as a set of 3 for $12. $12 for all 3 8 by 10 matted photographs, $12 for the set by giving me number 83. $12.83 for the set of 3 8 by 10 matted photos.
And I love doors, Patrick, and architecture, and that is amazing. It makes me want to go back to New York and do a whole series of photography again. Just amazing. Now, my last item went to Belinda Carroll. So thank you so much, Belinda, for picking up the sheet music and for Patrick's quick information. I'm always learning so much from everyone in the community. Now, the next item I have is really just adorable. And this is a little Japan planter, and he's a little doggy. He's got a toothache. I think they call him the toothache doggy because he's got a little bandage around his head, but you could just consider it a ribbon. He's just darling. He is marked Japan on the bottom. There's a little bit of wear on the word Japan, but as far as I can tell, there are no chips or cracks on him at all. He seems to be in really good condition. There's a little bit of tape there that I need to get off. But he just is so darling. I love his little face. He's just so cute. He's probably like a little Scotty, maybe. I don't know, though. He's got some black on him, so maybe he's not a Scotty. I don't know. You guys can decide what kind of dog he is. He measures to be from the bottom to the top. He measures to be about 3 inches tall, and then he's got room for a little plant. He does have some wear on the inside where someone has planted him before, but I do think that with a little bit of scrubbing, you can get that out. I wanted to leave that to the buyer because I do believe that he is cold painted, and I didn't want to mess up any of his paint, so I did leave him as is, but he is just adorable. And for the Japan doggy planter, you can have him for only $10, $10 by giving me number 11. $10, number 11 for the adorable little doggy.
All right, my last item, number 83, the set of 3 photographs of the doorways in New York went to Nettie. So thank you so much, Nettie, for picking those up. It turns out I have several ephemera pieces left. We only have a couple things left to sell tonight. So I've got another piece of ephemera that technically would fall in ephemera, but it kind of moves into its own little level, because what I have is this little leatherette folder that on the front of it is printed the Bridal Promise. It's got the original silk cord tied to it. And what this actually is, it's the decorative version of the marriage certificate. So I say decorative, but it is actually embossed. So I don't know if this is legit their marriage certificate, because if it is, they forgot to have it witnessed. So there's somebody out there living in sin. But we have this marriage certificate in this little leatherette binder that's dated from 1948. So we've got Matthew Lucas of Cudahy, Wisconsin, Cudahy. I don't know how to say my Wisconsin towns. And Stella Cooper, also of Cudahy. That's like a song. But they were married here in Waukegan, Illinois, on the 34th day of November in the year of our Lord, 1948. It is signed by the Justice of the Peace, and that's who the little embossed seal is from, is also from the Justice of the Peace. It just was never witnessed. So it's just a really cool snapshot piece of ephemera that it's really going to be one of those, you need to be in the category of protecting ephemera for future generations. Unless you're related to these people, that's probably why this ended up in the location where I was able to pick it up. But this would look fantastic in, if you're going to do the June bride, tiered tray, you're just doing something in white and silver. You're decorating for a wedding or a wedding shower. This is just it's absolutely 100% unique piece of ephemera. You literally will not find another one of these, because it is, whether decorative or not, it is the marriage certificate for this specific couple from this specific time. I love stuff like that. And I had to pick it up, because if I didn't, I was afraid it was going to end up in a landfill. So helping me give beautiful pieces of ephemera a good home and finding them the best home possible. This is the Bridal Promise in its folder. The folder itself is 7 3/8 by 4 1/4. And then when you open it up, the certificate's kind of like done at an angle. It's kind of done at this on the side. And so that one is lengthwise 10.5 inches long. So it's one of those that I think it would look great in an ephemera bowl. It would look great in a vignette, something that wouldn't frame it, because you'd kind of want to be able to see that it's got this cool folder and it's got the certificate in there as well. So you've got the Bridal Promise ephemera certificate folder. Is available for $8 by giving me number 80. $8, number 80 for the Bridal Promise.
Great ephemera there, Patrick. And I agree. I like to save that stuff from going in the landfill. And in an ephemera bowl, that would just be amazing. So my last item went to Katie, Berkeley girl, the other Katie in the chat. So congratulations, and thank you for picking up my little doggo. Now, these next 2 items I have are a lot. And I have to say, does anyone want some tea? I have some gorgeous teacups for you in this cobalt blue color that I just adore. Now, these are special. These are Gold Castle Japan, and these actually say made in Japan, so they are significantly older. This mark here dates these teacups from 1918 to 1920. They are in the gold with the blue, and they're just stunning. They each have their saucers. Now, there is a tiny bit of wear around the rim on this one teacup, as you can see here. But overall, for the age, these are in fabulous condition. There's no chips or cracks up at the top, just a little wear to where the blue is here. And the gold, as far as I can tell on the handle, is absolutely in perfect condition. The bottoms are great. And then there's a little bit of, I don't, it's something how they used when they probably set the tea bag. You can see it there. It's on the plate. I did try washing that off, but I couldn't get it off, but it really doesn't affect the use of the piece, and it doesn't show up when you're looking at it too much in person. So you're going to get this teacup here, and then you're going to get its mate. So this is a beautiful set. Now this one has a little tiny bit more wear around the rim here than its fellow brother does, but the handle is in great shape. Still that beautiful vibrant gold. It's got the gold castle mark on the bottom, and then the underplate here, the bottom part of the teacup, just absolutely gorgeous. You got the two saucers with the two teacups. You're going to get the pair of these. Again, this is from 1918 to 1920. This would be lovely for a tea party. I still think that once things get all better in the world, we can have a vintage tea party with our vintage linens and our tea and our little scones and all kinds of fun things, clotted cream. Or you can just set these out and do something fun. They would make a great gift if you wanted to put something inside the teacup, like a little bit of tea and maybe some sugar cubes, and then tie it up with a ribbon. These make excellent gifts. They really just are some cool pieces, and they've got some age to them. So you can have the pair of Gold Castle teacups for only $15. That's only $10 a teacup, and you can have them by giving me number 13. $15, number 13, for the beautiful cobalt blue Gold Castle teacups.
It's actually only $7.50 per teacup. So
$7.50. My math is wrong.
so you need a better deal. All good. I did a show and tell with Katie a few weeks ago, and it was not a collection that I personally had. It was a collection that I had purchased and was in the process of reselling. And two of the items that I had from that show and tell of cake toppers, I wanted to pull into this sale with Katie because they reminded me of Katie when I got them. They are Wilton cake toppers. They are similar, but they've been done in different colors. And they just appear to be like a 50s. I'm not sure if this is a boy or a girl hanging out on the telephone, leaning on the status books, eating a sandwich. The haircut is very short, which makes me think it is a boy. But the face of this one particularly is done in such a way that it kind of looks female. And that sweater is a very deep front. I'm not sure if that's just a cardigan on a boy or if that's because there's a little white shirt underneath that's actually a girl. So I don't know if it really necessarily matters, but they're cute little cake toppers that are marked Wilton on the back, but you can totally hear them. You're talking on the phone, listening to their spinning oldies, running in the background, listening to their vintage vinyl. And you've got a pair of these little technically cake toppers, but will look just as cool sitting up on a shelf, sitting in a tiered tray, you know, in reminiscent of your Happy Days decor. So we've got the pair of Wilton cake toppers of the people on the telephone, pair of them for $9. $9 for the Wilton cake toppers by giving me number 79. $9.79 for the Wilton cake toppers.
Those are fantastic, Patrick. I can just picture that scene with the vinyl in the background and both of them talking on the phone. How fun is that? And the cake topper show and tell Patrick did was wonderful. So if you missed that, definitely go check that out. Okay, so we are continuing selling some of my copper collection, and this is a piece I've had hanging in my kitchen for a long time, and now it is coming to you all. So you can have a piece of vintage and vinyl, and this is kind of fun because it is a jello mold. Now, this has the grapes on it, and it's got the sticker still inside, made in Korea. So I don't think that this was ever used. I never used it. It just hung on my wall. It's tin lined on the inside. And what's nice about this is this has the sharp metal edge. So it's not rolled over. Typically, when you find jello molds, they will actually take a wire and they will fold over the edge over that wire to get that thin little roll around the outside. And what happens is water gets stuck inside, and sometimes they're rusting. They have rust issues and other problems, and they're not as well made. So when you find these that don't have that little rolled over edge, they really are nice. And this has the riveted handle up at the top. This one looks like it's got some wear to it, just, patina and so forth. I think if you wanted to polish that up, you could. I did not polish this one. I didn't do anything to it. I wanted it to be up to the buyer, what they wanted to do, because I know there's different opinions on whether you like patina or whether you like shiny. And I know Nate's saying polish it, but you guys can do what you want with this beautiful jello mold, and you can make some of your own jello. Of course, I would advise making good jello, so maybe just the fruit kind, because the other jello is just gross. This measures 5 inches across. It is a beautiful wall hanging, all ready to go. Makes a great little addition to your kitchen. And this copper grape jello mold can be yours for only $7. $7 coming from my own collection by giving me number 15. $7, number 15 for the copper jello mold.
All right, my last item, the pair of vintage 50s cake toppers went to Vintage Uprising, Texas. So thank you, Tammy and or Dave, for picking that pair up. The next item I have, I'm going to have a couple people basically start refreshing your screen, get your fingers poised over the numbers, because I know there's a couple people still in the chat who typically go after these. This is another lot of vintage cookbooks. So this is another set of 3. Each of these did find dates on them. This one is the Knox Sparkling Granulated Gelatine book from 1931. So you have the Knox Gelatin book from 1931. Got some great colored graphics on both the front and the back. And then this one actually also has color photos or color illustrations peppered within the book itself. Some of the pages are just text, but some of them do have some photographs or illustrations. So this is from 1931, is the Knox Gelatin. In addition to that, I'm including the Cake Secrets from Eagle Hearts. I had another cookbook from Eagle Hearts before. This one is definitely one that was used in the kitchen quite a bit. It's got some foodstuffs on it. This one I thought had a date. I need to start writing these down in advance because I thought I found the date on this one. I think all of these were from the 30s. So I believe this one is also from the 30s. No, I'm sorry. This one was older. 1919.
Wow.
So you've got the date right there on the bottom, 1919. So you've got a 1919 Cake Secrets book. Again, color photographs or color illustrations on the front and the back, as well as color illustrations throughout the book. So again, like these are the types I hope would not be ripped apart for junk journaling, but there is a little bit of wear on these, on this one in particular. So just be aware of it. But when you're over 100 years old, you're probably going to look worse than this. So they've got the Cake Secrets Eagle Hearts book. I'm trying to talk so people can be refreshing their screens. And then the last one is the Kitchen Encyclopedia from Swift and Company. And this one is dated 1921. So 1911. So we've got a 1911 Swift and Company. So you've got some great illustrations there. We've got the Swift Premium Oleo Margarine box on the back. And then this one, I don't think this one had illustrations in the middle. It has some black and white, but for the most part, this one is all recipes. This one has a little bit, the center fold has come out from the staple. So it's still the page is still in good condition, but it's no longer attached. So again, it's a little bit of condition issues because again, this one is 100 years old. So we've got the Kitchen Encyclopedia from 1911, the Cake Secrets book from 1909, and the Knox Gelatin, I think, was from, what did I say, 30s or something like that. So it's a 3 set of 3 of all the cookbooks, and you get it for $10. $10 for the lot of 3. All 3 cookbooks, you get them for $10 by giving me number 81. $10.81 for the lot of antique cookbooks.
Those are incredible, Patrick, and the graphics in them are fabulous. I think they would be great framed in a kitchen. Now, my last item went to Book Bewitched. So congratulations, Book, for picking up the copper jello mold out of my collection. And the last item I have for you guys tonight is in honor of Patrick. And this is just an adorable little boy figurine from Japan. And what I like about him is he's got his stein. Now, he's probably more Dutch, but I'm going to say that he's German in honor of Patrick because he's got his beer stein and he's carrying a loaf of bread, which I find very interesting. So he's got his loaf of bread and the beer stein, which is an interesting combo.
And it's Lederhosen. He's German. There's Lederhosen.
Well, yeah, he is German. He looks... His hat, though, to me, the way it looks. But yeah, he does have lederhosen on. So he is lederhosen. So he is German. He's just adorable. He's really well detailed. You can see his face there. And he's got no chips or cracks. I love how they've done the hat. So he's got little dots on his hat. He is fully glazed. He's not bisque. The bottom does say Japan. And he would just be great in a tiered tray, a little vignette, something fun. He just needs to go home with someone and be loved and admired. Now, he is only 3 3/4 inches tall. So if you have a smaller tiered tray like Sean from Skunky Junk, he would fit really nicely, I think, in between those levels. Or just something fun in your kitchen, just that makes you smile. You know, it's all about finding things that make you smile and having little treasures around. So this Dutch boy figurine can be yours for only $8. I'm sorry, $6. I can't read today. $6 for the Dutch boy figurine by giving me number 10. $6, number 10 for the little German figurine.
All right, so my last item was the lot of cookbooks. That went to Catherine Young, and that was my 15th item. So we each had 15. That was all I brought. So I just have the items behind me that did not sell. So if anyone wants to see the Avon mugs, the mini steins, the Fenton slag glass, the set of children's books, or the marriage license, let me know and I can show any one of those. But otherwise, my evening is done. So thank you to all the people that have purchased from me tonight. And I will combine, if you happen to come to my sale tomorrow night, I will combine shipping and get invoices out this weekend.
That is wonderful, Patrick. It was great having a sale with you. That is all I have for you as well tonight. My last item did go to Chrissy's Corners for Collectors, so thank you so much for picking that up. Now, please make sure that if you did win something tonight, that you email us. Patrick and I, again, are not shipping from the same state, so we cannot combine shipping. I'm in Florida. Patrick is in Illinois. So do make sure you send us an email and put your information in it. We do need your PayPal email address so we can get you an invoice, your regular mailing address so we can get you your items, and your name, and then your YouTube name, just so we know who you are. That really does help. And I will have everything out over the weekend, so stay tuned for an invoice around Saturday. And as Patrick mentioned, he is having a sale on Thursday at 8:00 p.m., so tune back in for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Patrick always has such great items, and he's always so knowledgeable about everything. So Patrick, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to Nate and Peterson and everyone in the chat who was moderating and helping tonight. Nate is a rock star. He's kept track the whole sale and kept us going. And if you guys have anything that that Patrick wants to show that's in the back there, I can put Patrick.
Yeah, we had a couple of questions. We'll go ahead and show a few. So if you had anything, Katie, I don't know if you had anything that didn't sell. I think you did pretty well tonight. But this was the one that had gotten identified after I showed it. So now, so the suggestion was I show it again. So this, as it turns out, is the cactus pattern from Fenton. It is Fenton slag glass, and they consider this color caramel as opposed to butterscotch. So it is the cactus pattern. It's a covered pitcher. Got the small cover on it with the footed, flared foot. And that one was number 94. It was $25. So that was the Fenton cactus pattern caramel slag glass. So thanks to all the people that helped identify that, because I did not know that going into the sale. And then one of the earlier ones was the children's books. This was the set of children's books, Sinbad the Sailor, Gulliver's Travels, and Aladdin. You get all 3 books for $6. And I actually have 3 sets of these books. So if you're interested in the books, there were multiple sets available. So that also was available that had not sold.
Wonderful. And I will re-show this item here. This is a beautiful little Japan piece. I do think that at one point it probably had some chained animals, but you can have this violin playing girl. She's got spaghetti trim on her. She's just adorable. Little stars on the bottom, gold, pink, and blue. Just absolutely lovely. No chips or cracks. And you can have her for only $12 by giving me number 7. So $12, number 7 for the violin girl. She is still available. And then I also have these beautiful pieces here of art glass. These are art glass fruits that would be great in a kitchen. So we've got the pineapple and the pear. And you can have the set for $12. $12 by giving me number 4. So these are still available. And then the last thing I have is a pair of teacups from 1918 to 1920. They are Gold Castle Japan, and you do get the set of them. They are in cobalt blue. So I still have these beautiful teacups, and they are still available for $15 by giving me number 13. $15, number 13. So that is what I have left. And if there's something that you see and you want to email us, they will always be available afterwards. So do send us an email, of course, with your information as well. So Patrick, a big thank you for joining me tonight. It was a lot of fun. Thank you all for coming in the chat. Make sure you stay tuned for Patrick's sale tomorrow. Anything else coming up on your channel, Patrick?
Nothing that I can announce yet. Just kind of some random stuff. Put on your notifications for Katie's channel as well as mine, and see what comes up. I did drop a video earlier this evening, so you can watch a haul video, which will showcase some pretty, actually one of them is right here. It's the best piece of Hager I've probably ever picked up. It's the pigeon vase.
Wow.
So this is showcased in the video that just dropped a few hours ago before our sale. It's Royal Hager. It's still marked Royal Hickman on the bottom. And this one will be coming up at a future sale. Maybe end up on Etsy. Haven't decided yet. But by far, a most impressive piece that I picked up from that haul video.
Amazing, Patrick. And I'm just clarifying my email. I think Chrissy was saying that she had some trouble emailing me. This is my email, katie@katiescreations1.com.
Yeah, don't miss the 1.
Yes,
that's what most people miss is the 1.
It is number 1, and it's not spelled out. Some people put W. Golly, my head tonight with words was just struggling. They have trouble with it usually, but so just make sure you include the 1. So guys, that will do it for this sale tonight. I will see you tomorrow in some chats and around the YouTube. And of course, thumbs up for Trunk Down Elephants. And remember, as always, to stay in, stay safe, and binge YouTube. Bye-bye now.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining.